you.
You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on tequilaaficionado.com. You're watching Mike Morales and Alex Perez. I messed up, didn't I?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on tequilaaficionado.com, part of Tequila Aficionado Media.
Yes. And all of our platforms where you're listening to us on all 9 platforms, wherever you download your podcast. All right. You're listening to the dulcet tones of Alex and Mike. And Alex and Mike are going to be tasting and dissecting this very special tequila tonight. It's Don Vicente. This is the extra añejo. So it hops from blanco to reposado to extra añejo. So there's no añejo. And honestly, after having some of that repo, you don't really need an añejo. I mean,
Isn't that something?
Well,
I just realized that.
Yeah, it's really bold. I think it's a lot bolder.
It's so substantial. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it kind of fits the bill of a really good reposado.
Yeah.
And a great añejo. And it's kind of priced the same way too. I think, that's the funny thing. You and I were doing some pricing on the last review. And it was interesting because the pricing was more leaning toward, how you would see añejos of that caliber,
That's right.
And it's Felipe Camarena. It's coming from El Pandillo. So anybody who's a Felipe Camarena fan, what is it, 1579? That's the dome number. He's an agave grower first, and he's going to look for distressed old barrels.
Nice.
But I will tell you,
he's the barrel king.
I will tell you that. Oh boy, I just snipped the cork. I will tell you that he has surprised me with what he's doing in barrel management on this line. Okay, so
wow.
I'm going to pour mine in a Glencairn like Alex is because, extra añejo. And for those of you who heard that was Crystal.
So again, for extra añejo, the color. Now, obviously, with this line and just like any of Don Camarena's, Felipe Camarena's tequilas, I don't expect color as an indication of age with the barrels he's using.
Yeah.
But look at the color on this. This is a light straw.
So it's a light straw, whereas the Reposado looked like a pale straw.
Right.
Because
beautiful legs and tears
it's
on
not
this
even like gold. I wouldn't even say this.
Yeah. Wow.
But again, legs and tears are extremely beautiful. Nice body. It's just going to really have a nice. It's going to have a great.
I love your body. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I don't know if you folks can see that on my camera. I'm trying to get it into the
just the
handy dandy ring light.
There's just sheets of tears and legs. Beautiful. More than the other ones, obviously.
And it's beating up nicely. But the legs and tears seem to get thicker when it's after it's been sitting in a barrel for a while. But when you start with the substantial Blanco, the legs and tears only get better, which is, kind of cool. Wow, that's gorgeous. It's really fun to look at.
So this is aged at least 3 years. At least 3 years in American oak bourbon barrels. Yeah, now, the nose on this is just amazing.
The nose is really something. Wow. It's again bright and citrusy, kind of like a light orange. Maybe not even orange.
Wow, I'm getting again the dried fruit.
More of the honeysuckle.
I picked up, honeysuckle. I picked up the butterscotch. More butterscotch, not so much the caramel. Oh no, I got it now.
Still the fruitiness that you get.
Wow.
The fruitiness that you get from the Blanco and butter. There's that it's kind of like a malolactic. I've had that in another tequila much more substantially than here. This was a little bit more subtle. And when I say malolactic, it's the fermentation. It happens in fermentation where some of them get to the slower the fermentation, the more of these buttery lactic
exactly
flavors come through.
Wow, what a beautiful nose.
I like this nose better than I do in the Repo, honestly.
Oh yeah, well, it's different. You have deeper notes here of coming from the wood. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful explosion of aromas.
And just enough alcohol to make it interesting.
All right, I'm digging in on this baby.
Okay, here we go. Oh my.
Heaven. Wow.
I got like pear. Or some people say it's a green apple. It's more like pear for me.
No, a pear, definitely a pear. It's still in my palate.
The last
I
time
got pear in my palate.
The last time I had pear was in an old classic bottle of Chinaco. When Germán González was still in charge of the brand. That was very distinctive, and you got it on the aroma as well in those days.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Oh my goodness. This is really substantial. It is even more so than the Reposado, which, like I said, leaned more toward an Anejo than a Repo, I think, in its characteristics, in the boldness that it had.
Wow, this is this is like an Armagnac to me.
Oh,
it has the same nuances as Armagnac, not cognac, but more Armagnac.
Armagnac.
With the pears and the apple pear.
Yeah. This would be a great after dinner sip. I know Alice doesn't do cigars. I would probably pair a cigar with that Reposado, but I wouldn't do that with this one. And this was a lot brighter on the nose than I found the Repo.
That is beautiful. But this is very smooth, sweet on the intake, and then you've got that boom, that nice bite, and then it smooths out again, medium to long finish.
Well, that finish is still going too.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's dry too, which is coming from the bourbon barrels. I love the dryness.
That was I didn't mention it in the Reposado, but it does finish dry. It's a long, medium to long finish, but it's a dry finish.
Yeah.
The Repo, I think I had more of the I got more on my palate for every pass that I got. It kept opening up and revealing more of its layers. This one is just deep. It's deep, but the fruit, apples, pears.
Yeah, definitely apple, pears, kind of like fall. I'm thinking of fall notes.
But I'm not getting baking spices so much as
I was just gonna say that. You're right. I was just gonna say that. I didn't get in the Repo. I don't get it in this one, even though I do get some dried fruit. It's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Because usually that's what you get with these.
The baking spices, I think, normally happen with a whiskey barrel, whereas these are bourbon barrels. Generally speaking, Kentucky bourbon, Tennessee whiskey. Okay, so
beautiful.
Yeah, this is
Honeysuckle still coming through.
yeah, not like it did on the Reposado.
Mhm.
And it still has a little bit of that char and tobacco at the bottom of it, but it wasn't as prevalent. It's not as prevalent in this extra añejo as it was in the Repo.
Mm. So good.
It's good. Buy it.
Yeah, we're just making a lot of noise with our tequila here. But it's so good. This is
Well,
it's a whole yes, it is
it's a Brand Promise nominee, folks.
It's so elegant. It's such an elegant tequila.
Yeah.
And you don't need the fancy bottle either.
No, and it knows that you don't need it. Felipe knows that you don't need it.
You got all these brands that have all these fancy bottles and your decanters and whatever.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff right here.
This is such, every time you think he's done, with whatever flavor profile he comes up with, whether it's Terralta or the Old Pasote, Artenom, which is another one that comes out of there. How many more of these can he do?
He's a genius.
To himself.
Yeah.
Because I'm again surprised by this one. It was starting from the Reposado to this one, it was not what I expected.
It's a beautiful expression.
Barrel management. It could be the these are bourbon, not whiskey. The fermentation, certainly whatever he's doing in fermentation is giving you that little bit of the butteriness that we've gotten on all of those, including the Blanco. I think it's much more prevalent on the Blanco. And it's just visually stunning. These are some of the prettiest legs and tears I have seen in a long time. Now, obviously, for those of you that care, it's no additives on it. You can look at the website.
No.
Been verified, additive free. So if that's a big deal for you, it doesn't have it. So anything that you see on this is all natural. It's all his genius, Felipe Camarena's genius in his mad scientist kind of way. Just crazy.
Yeah, don't let the color fool you either, because I know people look for a certain color in an extra añejo.
Now, again,
don't judge it by its color.
Yeah, or the price, okay? Because I'm getting different prices here. So I got a range. If right now, apparently it's only found in Texas right now. This is at this point.
If this is 100 and quarter, that's a steal.
125.88, or it ranges from that to 209.99. I'm not sure who Liquor King is. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of Liquor King. I want to find out who they are and what state they're in, or if it's also Texas. Oh, yes. North Greenville Avenue in Allen, Texas. So I'm not familiar with Allen. I'm familiar with McAllen. I know where that's at. That's South Texas. But Allen, Texas has it for $209.99.
Nice.
But you know what? Either way, I wouldn't quibble about the price. I mean, if you can get it from Specs, obviously that would be the thing to do.
Well, trust us here at Tequila Aficionado.
What's that?
I said, trust us here at Tequila Aficionado. Go out and get yourself some.
Yeah, just go get it. Go get it. In fact, if you're watching us if you're watching us on YouTube or any of our other channels and networks, and you've had it before, what are you paying for? First of all, leave us a comment down below below this review. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like. The like helps with the algorithm, and subscribe too, because we love all our subscribers. We've gotten some really great subscribers who are appreciating our more in-depth tasting than the 4-minute bites that you get in some of the other reviews. This is outstanding stuff.
So good.
It's so good. Again, our thanks to Brian. Let me give his name one more time. He really went out of his way to get these to us, and I so appreciate it, because I had seen other Brian Treviso. I have seen other reviewers getting this, and I thought, we haven't done a Felipe Camarena, and we've met him. Alex and I personally met him. He came to one of our events, at El Cholo, and I spent a good half an hour, 25 minutes talking to him.
Yeah.
And he was giving me the ins and outs about, the secret inside scoop on tequila, and before we knew it, our show that we were there for El Cholo, and then he had him lined up. Everybody wanted his autograph and, picture.
Yeah.
The guy. He was really very cool.
Yeah, the guy is a master.
Yes, he is. He knows what he's doing.
Especially with barrel management, which is I think is probably the secret to this.
Well, he's an expert.
Or he's one of them.
I mean, he's an agave grower. What he's doing he put together the makeshift taona that is called the Frankenstein taona, a repurposed steamroller. The guy just continues to innovate.
Yeah, I mean, when you have control over every aspect of your creation, you're able to do whatever you want to do, and I think this is just, it's genius.
Yeah, it's genius.
It's beauty in the bottle there.
Yeah, so just go get it, beauty in the bottle. So that's our take on Don Vicente Extra Añejo. I'm Mike Morales here in the San Gabriel Valley of Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Alex Perez. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think. Follow us, meet us at our events, and as always, sip wisely.